Okay, when I say the word farm, what do you picture? I'm guessing it's huge fields, right? Massive tractors. Well, I want you to take that image and just get ready to toss it out the window.
All right, let's just break this down. Think about it. The old way of farming, you're talking vast acres of land, massive tractors, and probably a whole lot of debt. And it could take years to see any real profit. But now, we're talking about the new Agriprenuer. And what does that look like? Well, it can literally start on a single shelf. We're talking super low startup costs and a harvest in days. No, this isn't a fantasy. This is a very real and very profitable new world.
So that's what we're digging into today. Farming just isn't what you think it is anymore. We're going to meet this new wave of agripreneurs, the people who are proving you absolutely do not need 100 acres to build a killer agricultural business.
And we're kicking things off inside. Yeah, with the innovators who are literally turning tiny indoor spaces into, well, green gold mines.
First on the list, microgreens. You've definitely seen these little guys on fancy restaurant plates, right? But what's truly amazing is the business behind them. I love this analogy one source used. They're basically the TikTokers of the plant world. Why? Because they're fast, super trendy, and insanely popular.
Okay, let's talk money. Specifically, how little you need to get started, because this is where it gets wild. Just look at that number. You can get a full microgreens operation. I'm talking trays, seeds, lights, the whole shebang, up and running for as little as $500 to maybe $1,000. That's it.
And what's so powerful here is just how simple it is. You literally need a single shelf, or hey, even a windowsill. Your harvest time, we're talking just 7 to 21 days. And your market? Oh man, restaurants, health food stores, they can't get enough of this stuff. It's like flipping sneakers, but instead of shoes, your product is edible, healthy, and it grows right back.
All right, let's move on to our next indoor crop, because this one takes the whole concept to another level. We're talking about gourmet mushrooms. You know, things like oyster and shiitake? These things are total culinary superstars, and trust me, with just a little bit of knowledge, you can absolutely turn fungus into funds.
And this chart, it just perfectly illustrates the return on investment. Get this, with a startup cost of around $2,000, a tiny 100-square-foot space, we're talking a corner of your basement or a small shed, can potentially bring in up to $4,000 a month. I mean, the profit potential is just staggering.
Okay, so indoor farming is obviously incredible. But what if you're someone who wants to, actually get your hands dirty, work directly with nature and the ecosystem?
Well, that brings us to our next group of agripreneurs, who I like to call the land stewards. And these are ventures that aren't just about making a profit, they actually help the planet too.
And a perfect example of this is beekeeping. Now, I know what you're thinking. Honey. And yeah, of course, that's a huge part of it. But this business is about so much more than just the sweet stuff.
See, a single hive isn't just one product. You've got your honey sales, sure, and that can bring in up to $1,500 a year. But then you also have beeswax for all sorts of products, and you can even rent out your bees for pollination services to other farms. Now scale that up. Imagine you have 10 hives. You're honestly looking at quit your day job kind of money, and all while supporting a totally crucial part of our ecosystem.
All right, so we've seen the potential in everything, from bees to mushrooms. It's awesome, right? But how do you actually start? Okay, let's get practical. Let's walk through a real-world example, setting up your very own microgreen startup.
And just look at how simple this is. I mean, this is based on a guide from Penn State Extension, and your shopping list is stuff you can find at pretty much any home or garden store. We're talking seeds, some growing trays, make sure they have drainage holes, a good growing medium like peat mix or cocoa coir, a spray bottle, and some scissors. That's it. No tractors, no silos. Just simple, totally accessible tools.
And the process itself? Just as straightforward. Seriously, you measure out your seeds, you prep and water your trays, you spread the seeds and give them a good misting, let them grow in the sun, and then you harvest. In like a week or two, you go from a tiny seed to a salad. It is absolutely that achievable.
Okay, so once you've got the basics down, what's next? How do you really level up your profits? Well, it's all about the power of niche markets. It's time to move beyond the basics and look at some seriously high-value crops.
You know, this quote from the agriculture magazine Agriculus really says it all. Medicinal plants fetch a higher price in the market compared to conventional crops. It's that simple. By focusing on specialized in-demand plants, you can just dramatically boost your income.
And hemp is such a fantastic example of this. Now, to be super clear, we are not talking about marijuana here. This is a specific variety of cannabis sativa grown for commercial use, and let me tell you, the demand is just exploding. You've got CBD oil, fiber for textiles, nutritious seeds. It is a multi-purpose powerhouse of a crop.
And this table here gives you a really great snapshot of the opportunities out there. I mean, you've got saffron, literally the world's most expensive spice by weight. Then there's ginseng, a staple in health supplements that commands a super high price if you've got the patience for it to grow. And lavender. It's pretty low maintenance, but becomes incredibly valuable when you turn it into essential oils. Yeah, each one has its own challenge, for sure, but the payoff can be absolutely huge.
So, okay, we've definitely seen how you can make a profit. But this new wave of farming, it's about so much more than just money. Now we're going to look at farming for the future, and that means profit with a real purpose.
And what's really powerful is that these methods are just naturally sustainable. A lot of these niche and medicinal plants, they have these deep root systems that actually improve soil health and prevent erosion. Plus, they're usually grown organically, which means less chemical use, and they promote biodiversity by creating habitats for wildlife. I mean, it's a win for your wallet, and it's a win for the planet. And don't think for a second that this is old-school farming. Modern agribusinesses, even the teeny tiny ones, can become smart farms. What does that mean? It means using technology, things like AI-powered insights, and even satellite data to monitor your crop health, cut down on waste, and boost your yields. And the cool part is, tech companies are making these powerful tools accessible to literally everyone, from a backyard beekeeper to a big vertical farm in the city.
Which, brings us to our final thought here. Just look around you for a second. Your windowsill, your basement, that quiet little corner of your backyard. After everything we've talked about, the question isn't if there's potential there. The real question is, what gold is waiting for you to grow?